Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently working on getting some money built up here. We're just about to come out of debt, and our investment pool has a lot of money in it, actually. Like, a whole lot of money. I'd like it if it would start investing in some private constructions, but it doesn't seem interested. So that is understood. We do want to get some of this infrastructure construction done as soon as possible. It's just not very possible right now. Now, currently, our standard of living is on the actually, it's on the rise right now, but it was on the decline for a bit, and this is mostly due to the price of grain. Now, just looking at the map here, it was more obvious when we were in the day cycle, but now that we're in the night cycle, it's a little less obvious, but it looks like we're under drought conditions. Is that accurate? Yes. So that's probably what we've got going on there, is the drought conditions. So that's understood. For the time being, I do really want to get some of this construction going, but it's going to take a little time before we're ready to do that. So this election is done. The Liberal Party was elected, which we would expect. We're down to a contested government 66 at this point. Okay, that seems fine. And yeah, you can see here, all of these states are under drought. It looks like Minnesota is not. So that's definitely painful, no doubt about that. Okay, so let's get the regulatory bodies hopefully finished here. That would be very, very good for our mortality rate. We're currently growing at 32k annually, so we have good population growth rates here. I would love to bring our GDP up a little bit more. We're really struggling to get any income going here. We do have a little bit of unrealized taxes. This is mostly due to our radicalism, which has been steadily declining. So that looks good, and our standard of living is rising. We're actually high enough that we're earning recognition again, so this is good. We are currently halfway, as soon as this next month tick happens, to earning recognition. If we can get our GDP up, we can double that speed. So that would be absolutely fantastic. So we're currently studying regulatory bodies. We've got 35 days on that. Our odds are pretty okay. Stall chance is down to 5%, so that seems good. We just hope that this drought lets up soon. That will be a significant gain for us. So currently, paper is expensive. What do we have going on in our trade routes? Actually, everything looks good in our trade routes. So what do we have going on in potential exports? The answer is nothing. Okay, we could import engines. That would be net negative. I would expect steel to be net negative. Tea we do not produce, and I don't think we're going to be producing tea. We could import paper. This would technically be positive, but I don't think we should. We produce paper domestically, so that seems fine. I would rather have our paper production be stimulated. So for now, that seems absolutely fine. I don't see any major trade issues at this point. We just progressed up to voting. That was some decent rolls there, actually. So I like that. That's absolutely fantastic. And we're currently up to about 10k in gold reserves. Okay, so we can see that our government wages are significant. Most of that is from government administration, and that's what's holding down our income at this point. So if we were hypothetically to change our taxation to, say, proportional, that would currently be a net negative, and graduated taxation would also currently be a net negative. So that is absolutely noted at this time. I think we just continue rocking what we are right now and hope that our private construction feels like investing in something sometime soon. That would be nice. But alas, as of right now, it doesn't seem particularly interested. There's a lot in the investment pool, and I would love to be able to harvest that. Is there, at this point in the game's development, I know there used to be an economic system where we were able to harvest that. So we're on interventionism right now, which gives us 50% private construction allocation, 50% government dividends reinvestment, 25% government dividends efficiency, and nationalization investment return of 50%. Okay, so we can't really change to any of these. There's huge amounts of opposition right now, but if we were to switch to something like laissez-faire here, yeah, that's definitely not what we can do at this moment. That's for sure. What do we have for companies right now? We have actually 0 out of 3 companies. We don't have any companies that are currently available, and this is just because we aren't developed enough. But we can see that the drought is starting to lift. It's done in Wisconsin and Michigan now, but still ongoing in Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. So that definitely still needs some work on that front. That said, we are at new heights for our GDP. So that's really, really good. Our GDP per capita is up very, very solidly. That means that we're earning recognition at 2 progress per month. That's excellent. We're very, very happy to see that. So that looks good. Our radicalism is still ticking downward. That's also fantastic to see. And our current pop growth is 32K annually. Okay, we're at number 97 in the world in terms of population, and we still want to continue to work on that. We need a lot more populace. We can see that we have 0 peasants and 0 unemployment, so we just need to get people to work. That's the goal here. Regime change in Mexico, huh? Okay. So what do we got going on here? Set up paper import? I mean, yes, but also no. We can get this British market import. It is technically positive for right now. And we can see that we currently have a slightly negative wine import. We might as well get rid of that. Okay, so we successfully set up the paper import. That's fine. I would still prefer domestic production, but the domestic production doesn't seem to really be happening, and dropping the price of paper will save us some money. So that's not a bad thing. You can see here, we're currently paying 1.65 on paper, and it was trending downward, but this is where we set up the import market. So that looks fine. We're currently exporting glass, and that is net negative at this moment. I'm going to leave that be, though, for right now. So that seems fine for the moment. We are chilling at around 1.8, 1.9. We've definitely got a decent floor on this economy now. Wow, regulatory bodies just went straight through. That's impressive, actually. So we can work up Workplace Safety Office. This will take some amount of bureaucracy. We could also work up our Social Security, and we're barely paying welfare payments as it is, so just getting the extra food security, I think, will be decent. So we'll work on that. I'm concerned about our bureaucracy usage at this moment, but let's check in on potential law changes. Let's see. We could potentially go to protectionism. I don't know that that's actually useful right now, though. Can we actually go to universal suffrage? We could. It would have a 19... This would radicalize the big men and industrialists. The big men are currently marginalized. The industrialists would be potentially problematic there. We could also just go towards mass conscription, and that might not be a bad thing. So let's go that route. We'll see if we can get that passed. It's going to be pretty RNG, but that's okay. Another revolution in Dixie. Okay. The U.S. is having a very, very bad time of this. Wow. So the U.S. is really, really struggling. No doubt about that. But we are at least earning 2 monthly progress for our recognition, so that is fantastic. And I would like to start constructing again at some point. The main question is when. We have conveyors being researched right now. We have 32K in gold reserves at this moment. Is everything privatizable? Let's check through here quick. We did have a couple of new structures. This power plant can be privatized. It's not built yet, so that's not going to be a thing. Otherwise, it looks like yes. Everything can be privatized. So that is absolutely noted. I do want to resume this construction, but we're only going to get a couple of weeks of progress at the current position. So that's absolutely understood. Now, we could think about going up to steel frame buildings. I feel like being on iron frame buildings isn't that big of a deal. Yeah. Because it used to be we were trying to stimulate the economy of wood, but I don't think that's a problem anymore. We're going to have a glass demand. That's absolutely understood. Let's swap this over. This is going to be very expensive to run, and that's understood for the time being. I want to hop in here, and I want to get rid of these wine, or one of these wine trade routes. This glass export route is probably going to end up being negative when we construct. So that's understood. How is our steel market looking? We've got a lot of headroom there. So that's understood. We should be okay, but it's going to be expensive. And that's absolutely understood. We will be able to construct faster, but we won't be able to construct as long. We're limited by our income, right? So that's absolutely understood. Our income is still really quite low. And this is because our GDP still needs a lot of work here. We're only at 2 million GDP, and, I mean, it's 1920. We're still very small, so that's understood. Let's see. 10% enactment success chance? Yeah, conscientious objectors is fine. I'm not actually planning on fighting. So this seems absolutely okay. So we've got about 50k. I want to see what the damage is going to be here. Let's let this go until we have definitely over 50k. And let's see how much this is going to cost. It's going to be a lot. It won't update this week. It'll update next week. Woof. Okay, so this is not fully updated. You can see we're running a steel shortage and a glass shortage. And if we check in on our steel mill, this is going to start hiring. And we have a glass manufactory somewhere. I'm 99% certain that we produce glass. Yeah, here. Okay, so also in Michigan. That's understood. So this is going to be painful. No doubt about it. But that's absolutely fine. We can get started on some of this. This will definitely stimulate our glass and steel markets, at least for a couple of weeks before we run out of money. So a steel import route and a glass import route, maybe not the worst ideas in the world. That said, this steel mill and this glass works can both afford to hire in significantly. So that's understood. Now we're going to have to pause our construction after this week. And that's all we got. So that's understood. We're pausing our construction there. We're going to have to pay for this next week of construction. That's absolutely fine. Now our construction is officially off, and that looks fine. So we barely got any construction built there. That was expected. I just wanted to see how bad it would be. And the answer is quite. It was quite bad. So that, of course, means that baseline steel production is rough. And it's going to take a while to get that up. What that really means is that we need our private constructions to do something. Oh, we got a privatization. Okay, that means that we can construct again for a little while. Cool. So we're going to let this go. This is going to give us a shortage, once again, of glass and steel. I think. Yes, here it is. So I do want to go into here. And we don't want to export any glass, obviously. Do we want to import steel? Dropping the price of steel would allow us to construct longer. I feel like a temporary import route of steel would not necessarily be a bad thing. So we could do this. We could, in fact, do 2 steel import routes temporarily. And then there's a potential glass import route that we could do as well. And the idea behind this is we're just looking to drop the prices on these so that we can build a little longer. That's the idea. Okay. 19.4k. That is significant costs. Noted. So I want to check in on the price of steel at this moment. Yeah, that definitely is being affected by our imports. Okay, we stalled here. That's unfortunate. That wasn't very likely to have happened, but okay. So this is fine for now. Our glass works. Can we bring up anything here? No, I think this is as good as we want that to be. So that seems fine. I'd love to get this railway in Indiana completed. That'll allow us to change over some production methods in Indiana, but I don't think that we've got the money to get this done right now. So let's finish that up. I'd love to get our recognition done. That's going to, of course, be a very, very big deal. So we're making progress on that, slowly. 11 weeks here, and we've got about 2 weeks of money. So yeah, this is going to be very painful. But we're not surprised about this, necessarily. Do we want to go into debt to get this railway built? Honestly, I don't think there's a reason to do so. I really, really don't. So let's let this week tick go by. Let's pause this construction. We managed to get a good chunk of Indiana built there. And now we should come in and we should cancel the trade routes for steel and glass. We don't need either of those anymore. We only need those when we're constructing. But we can see that that definitely choked off our steel mill a little bit. So that's absolutely understood. Automatic bottle blowers has been unlocked for the glassworks, and that's definitely a good thing to do. We'll do that. That does mean that we need a source of oil now, officially. So there's this oil rig. We can move that up and place that about here. For now, we're going to have to import some oil. Which isn't, you know, fantastic. But that'll be fine for the moment. Okay, so we're at 967. We're within the year, approximately, going to cross the 1 million marker on our population. That is good. We definitely need to continue to work up our production, though. Substantially. We're currently running a shortage of steel, and, I mean, that's going to balance out. Our steel mill will hire in here, but what we really, really need in Michigan is people, right? We need a lot more workers in a lot of these places. Now, some of this is just we need demand, right? The tooling workshops are pretty maxed out right now. We may want to consider building an additional tooling workshop, and that would end up going probably after this oil rig, like this. Okay, so these constructions are going to take a while. There's no doubt about that. I don't think we'll get this done before the end of the game at the current construction rate. We just don't have the income. So let's see what happens with mass conscription here. Wow, we rolled a second stall here. Yikes. We're rolling really badly on this mass conscription. We don't need it. It would be a nice to have. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, for the moment, our income is still terrible. We've got a glass shortage right now, and we should see this glassworks trying to hire in, but they're hiring it from other facilities here, right? They're poaching workers from other facilities, and we need more workers. That's what it comes down to. We never had enough in terms of employees, and we need so many more. We are growing at a very good rate, though, so I'm very happy about that. So that's looking solid, and our income is actually pretty okay at this point, too. 1.74, I mean, we definitely need it to be a lot more. Past protectionism. 5 legitimacy, can we afford that? Let's see. Yes, yes we can. Get out of here. Workers of the world. The trade unions want to reach out to the American Liberal Revolt. What's the current opinion of the trade unions? Plus 15? Okay. We're going to tell them no. That's fine for now. Okay, so conveyors have been unlocked. That gives us a lot of new production methods, and we can also then work on... Let's see, all of these are completed at this point. The combustion engine is here. We could go to pneumatic tools. I'm not sure that that's useful for us. Perhaps mechanized farming or nitrogen fixation? Sure, we can get going on that for now. And I want to check in on these production methods. So that's a lot of assembly lines, right? So we cannot get this at this point. We need access to electricity. Okay, so our tooling workshops are on hand assembly. Really? Did I seriously not change this? This should have been on rotary valve engine. Okay. I must have missed that at some point. We can't take this down to assembly lines, sadly. We will get there. We'll need to electrify that. So the motor industries are on rotary valve engine. That is correct. Livestock ranches can't go further down for now. Yes, this all looks accurate. Okay, so our tobacco plantation in Illinois. We have a railway here, don't we? We do. Our tobacco plantation here should be on rail transportation. Our maize farm should be as well, if it can be. It cannot. That will boost the price of the price of transportation here in Illinois, which will be good, but we do just need more people here, right? So that'll be absolutely fine. This furniture manufactory, pretty maxed out for right now. That looks okay. So in Indiana, we're working on the railway here. In Ohio, we don't have a railway here yet. In Michigan, we do have a railway. So this livestock ranch, yeah, that's not able to do any rail. Is a vineyard? It is. The vineyard should go to rail transportation here to interact with the railway. And I'm assuming the sulfur mine, oh, it's not. Okay, so that should move up, and those should be all on rail at this point. Okay, Wisconsin, we don't have a railway built in, but Minnesota, we do. So to that end, Maize Farm's no rail option there. Iron Mine is on rail. This logging camp is on rail. And we could actually go to Steam Donkeys. We probably should. Okay, so that looks good. I don't think there's anything else in Minnesota that needs to be worked on. I want to check the logging camp here. Yeah, this should be on Steam Donkey. This should be on Steam Donkey. Apparently, we never switched our logging camps over to Steam Donkeys. I'm surprised about that. But yeah, we definitely need to do this. This is going to potentially cause some issues, but this is going to drive up the price of engines overall, and that is a very good thing. It's also going to free up some workers. So that's also a good thing. Okay, so let's get going on that. We're going to have some good substitution here, and yes, I'm watching our bureaucracy slowly tick down here. This is happening because of our institution growth. So we might want to think about dropping something like Home Affairs, actually. Yeah, I'm going to drop that down to try to cancel out some of this. So it's going to continue to go down, but not as quickly. So that's noted. Another thing that we could consider... Well, we can't really drop our colonial affairs any further. I do want to bring up our social security. I'm only going to bring it to here, though. Okay. So now we should be holding firm on our bureaucracy other than population growth. And we can just put this right here for now, for Home Affairs. So that'll be fine for now. I'm just a little concerned about our bureaucracy. I don't want to build another government administration because that's going to cost too much money. So that seems fine for the moment. Okay, so that all looks good for now. If we go in here, we can see we've got a fair number of peasants. And this is a combination of things. We've got our population growth, and we've got all of those production methods that we just changed around. We need to find other locations for these people to work, and that is definitely something that's going to happen. Some of them are going to work in the railways. Some of them are going to migrate internally and work in places like this motor industry, ideally. That would be a very good thing for us. We've also got this tooling workshop. It's maxed out for the moment, so that seems fine. The tooling workshop should actually be okay for a little bit here. But I do want to get back to constructing on our railway in Indiana very soon. What do we have in Indiana that's actually going to utilize that railway? Well, we've got this logging camp, and that will be a good thing. And then we've got the vineyards here. That'll be a useful thing to have accessing that. And that's actually kind of it. But we got a debate here. What do we got this time? Ooh. That's a lot of enactment success chance. I'm going to go with this one. And yeah, up to 27%. That was a huge jump. I like it. So we can see that our bureaucracy is currently at exactly 0. And now it's starting to go a little bit negative. So we're dropping this down and bringing this up simultaneously. So that's a wash, but our overall bureaucracy is dropping due to our increasing population. So that's understood. We do want to eventually go into our government administration and bring this up to a standardized filing system. I highly doubt we can afford this right now. The other question is, can we afford to not do it? We are currently at minimum taxes, so we could bring up... Oh, hello. Oh, yeah, that's that oil import and this grain import. I'm going to get rid of this grain import for now and this cloth import. Or is that an export? Okay, we have a fabric shortage. That's understood. Hopefully that will drive some people into our livestock ranches to produce additional fabric. We have very few people in there right now. Okay, I want to hop over to standardized filing system. This is going to cost a lot more paper. So that's understood, and then in order to compensate for that, I'm going to bump up our taxes by 1 level. But I do expect this to be a problem still. Yeah, so we're currently negative. The price of paper is going up, but our paper mills will produce more for a little bit. Our productivity here, well, we're maxed on this paper mill. And then we've got this paper mill here, which is going to hire it. Okay, so minus 157. That's not too bad. So 61.7, what that means is I want to cancel this change. And I want to bring our social security back up to here. We should have enough bureaucracy for that for a little bit anyway. So we've still got that fabric shortage. I think that means that we should probably import a little bit. So let's get that going for now. And we're just barely negative financially at this point. This seems... Okay, we just flipped around. This seems like this is going to be okay. Yeah. We've got an engine shortage right now. We just need people working in this motor industry. So that's not a big deal there. In terms of prices for the motor industry, I mean, steel's a little up there, coal's a little up there, but no prices are just absurd at this moment. So that's understood. Human rights is spreading, which is actually a pretty big deal. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to look to finish our railway in Indiana. That will hopefully get done pretty quickly here. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.